In the next 30 years, the purchasing power of your money is projected to be cut in half. Let me say that again. Half. That $1 million you're working for, dreaming of, planning your life around, it's on a non-stop flight to becoming a bag of groceries. And most people, including, let's be honest, probably you, are so distracted by the big shiny number that they have no idea it's happening. This isn't a video about investing. It's not about stocks or bonds or crypto. I don't care about that. This is about the single most powerful and invisible force that dictates your wealth, your decisions, and your life. The frame. Because that $1 million was never $1 million. It was just a story. And right now, you're on the losing end of it. Think about a $100 bill. What is it? A bit of paper, some fancy ink, a few security features. You can't eat it. It won't keep you warm at night. If you were stranded on a desert island, you'd rather have a coconut. The only reason that piece of paper has any value at all is because we've all collectively agreed that it does. We've accepted the frame. We've bought into the story that this rectangle of cotton linen blend is worth 100 times more than a similar rectangle with a different picture on it. This collective agreement is both a miracle of social cooperation and the biggest vulnerability, because the people who write the stories, who design the frames, they control what that money is actually worth. It's not manipulation, it's framing, and the game is always in motion. We're taught to think of value as a fixed, concrete thing. A rock is a rock, gold is gold, a dollar is a dollar. But that's a kindergarten understanding of the world. In the real world, value is a perception, it's a feeling, and feelings can be guided. Let's talk about a classic psychological bias called anchoring. It's one of the simplest and most devastatingly effective tools in the social game. Imagine you walk into a high-end clothing store. The salesman, who knows the game better than you do, doesn't show you the nice, reasonably priced shirt. Oh no, he walks you over to a leather jacket on a pedestal under a spotlight. This, he says, is our flagship piece. $10,000. Your brain short-circuits. $10,000 for a jacket? That's insane. But it's too late. The anchor is set. $10,000 is now the top of the mountain. Now he walks you over to a beautiful wool coat. Of course, he says with a conspiratorial smile, if you want something for everyday wear, this one is a steal at just $1,200. $1,200. An hour ago, that would have seemed outrageous. But compared to the $10,000 anchor, it suddenly feels reasonable, almost like a bargain. The value of the coat didn't change. What changed was the frame of reference. You loved choosing exactly what he wanted you to choose. This is what's happening to your $1 million. The number itself, 1 million, is a massive, beautiful anchor. It sounds like freedom. It sounds like security. But quietly, subtly, other anchors are being dropped all around you. The price of a coffee, the cost of a gallon of gas, the number on your rent check. The frame is being warped until the thing you were chasing, that feeling of freedom and security, is no longer attached to the number you were told to chase. Your $1 million isn't disappearing. It's just being reframed into oblivion. The promise remains, but the substance is being hollowed out from the inside. Let's look at how this plays out everywhere. It's not just about money, it's about how every choice you make is being subtly engineered. Think about the last time you bought software or signed up for a service. You almost certainly saw 3 pricing tiers: the basic plan, the pro plan, and the enterprise plan. The basic plan is usually too limited. The enterprise plan is absurdly expensive, designed for giant corporations. It's the $10,000 jacket. It's an anchor. The enterprise plan's real job is to make the pro plan look cheap. It frames the choice. Most people will look at the 3 options and feel like they're making a smart, rational decision. But in reality, their decision was 90% made for them. You already agreed to buy the pro plan. You just didn't notice the architecture that led you there. Or think about the world of news and politics. The same event can be framed in a dozen different ways, each designed to elicit a specific emotional response. One headline reads, "Unemployment jumps a staggering 20%, threatening economic recovery." The anchor is the 20% increase. It sounds terrifying. It creates a feeling of crisis and fear. Another headline could read, "Employment remains strong as 94% of workforce stays employed." Here, the anchor is 94%. It sounds stable. It feels reassuring. Did either headline lie? No. They both used real numbers. But they chose different frames to tell different stories and to make you feel a certain way. It's not manipulation. It's framing. And the person who frames the debate wins the debate before it even begins. This brings us back to our money problem. The dominant frame for money is accumulation. The goal is to get the biggest number possible. We see these numbers as points on a scoreboard, but that's a sucker's game. Because while you're busy trying to increase your score, the people who own the game are busy changing the value of the points. Inflation is the most common name for this. But even that word is a frame. It sounds like a natural, inevitable process, like air filling a balloon. It's passive. A more accurate frame would be currency debasement or wealth transfer. That sounds active. It sounds like something is being done to you by someone. When a government says they are stimulating the economy by printing trillions of new dollars, that's a positive, active frame. They are the heroes, helping things grow. An alternative frame is that they are diluting the value of every single dollar you have ever saved. One makes you feel grateful. The other makes you feel robbed. Your million-dollar dream is a casualty of this war of frames. You're playing checkers, while the rest of the world is playing chess. So how do you stop being a pawn in this game? How do you protect yourself from the slow, invisible erosion of your efforts? You have to become the framer. The first step is to constantly question the anchor. Whenever you are presented with a number, your first mental move should be to completely ignore it. Instead, you create your own anchor. When you're looking at a car that costs $50,000, don't compare it to the $80,000 model. Reframe it. How many hours of your life do you have to trade to earn $50,000? But now you are in control of the valuation, not the salesman. You've replaced their anchor with your own, one that's tied to something real and finite, your time. Apply this to the $1 million. Stop seeing it as a destination. Start seeing it as a tool. The question is, what do I want $1 million to do? This requires you to control the time frame. Marketers love to shrink the time frame. Just $19.99 a month sounds infinitely more palatable than $2,400 over the next decade. You need to do the opposite. You must learn to zoom out. When you are planning your future, don't think in terms of today's dollars. That's a trap. If inflation averages, say, 3% a year, then in 24 years that $1 million will only buy what $500,000 buys today. You've been robbed without ever seeing the thief. When you start thinking this way, you realize that saving money in a bank account isn't a safe, responsible act. It's a guaranteed loss. The safety of a savings account is a frame, a story told to you by the very institutions that profit from your money losing value. The ultimate move in this game is to start telling a better story. Remember, value is perception. It's a story. So, the person with the most compelling story wins. Let's say you're in a salary negotiation. Your boss is anchored on your current salary. The company is anchored on their budget. They hold all the cards, right? Wrong. Don't talk about what you deserve or what you need. That's a weak frame. Instead, reframe the entire conversation around the value you create for them. You could say, we've brought in an additional $2 million in revenue this year. I'm suggesting we align my compensation with the value I'm currently generating. You're no longer a cost on a spreadsheet. You're an investment. You took their anchor, your old salary, and you threw it out the window. Suddenly, the extra $20,000 or $30,000 you're asking for seems not just reasonable, but like a fantastic bargain for them. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Or did I? You've made them feel smart for paying you more. People love choosing exactly what you want them to choose. This is the mindset that protects you. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own life and grabbing the steering wheel. Stop looking at the numbers and start looking at the frames around the numbers. Who is building the frame? What are they trying to make you feel? Your $1 million dream doesn't have to end in a grocery bag, but it will if you continue to play the game by the rules you were given. The world will constantly try to frame your reality for you. Your boss will frame your value. Marketers will frame your desires. Politicians will frame your worldview. You can arrive at the finish line, clutching your $1 million prize, only to discover it buys you a week's worth of food and a tank of gas. Or you can decide to become the one who holds the frame. It's a small shift in perspective, but it leads to a very, very big outcome. If you're starting to see the frames all around you, and you want to learn how to build your own, there's a little red button down there that says subscribe. It's a choice, of course, but I have a feeling it's a choice you were going to make anyway. You just didn't notice.